I used to tour villages in my official work as a bank official during 1980 to 1990. Though I used to go to Banaconda in Anantapur district, I never had any inclination to visit Prashanti Nilayam. Same was the cause with Brindavan, though I used to touch the neighborhood occasionally. In the year 1990, my accountant came to me with a photograph in his pocket. I could not understand what that photograph was. It was not my nature to ask anyone anything, much less my subordinate staff. I asked him, "Will you give me that photograph?" I don't know why I did so. He just took it out and gave it to me. It was a photograph of Sri Sathya Sai Baba. I was having not so favorable an opinion about God-man, as I used to hear all sorts of stories about some Babas. I just took the photograph from him and put it aside. I clean forget about it. That is how Bhagawan entered my house in the first time in 1990. Later, a colleague of mine in the bank was getting applications for some officials in bank for passports. He asked me to apply for a passport. "I'm not going anywhere, leaving my family and people," I told him. "Why do I need a passport?" However, he managed to take my signature on some papers and got me a passport. One of my colleagues who was trying to go aboard pressurized me into applying for a visa. Finally, I was the only person who got the visa. Many who came for the interview failed to get it. Though I dodged my departure to the USA for 2 months, I had to leave for the USA in October 1990. Eventually, under the pressure of my colleagues, before leaving for the States, I went to take leave of my executive director, for whom I had high regard. Then he gave me a book on Sri Sathya Sai Baba. I kept it with me, more owing to my regard for my ED than out of devotion to Baba. On reaching the USA, I came to know that there was no job waiting for me. After a few days, I could secure a job. My first posting was at Egan, Minnesota. It is a beehive of staunch Sathya Sai devotees, most of whom are Telugu-speaking people. I used to attend bhajans with them, more to take video than to participate. However, I began to read my books on Bhagawan, which helped to erode my unfavorable feeling towards Sri Sathya Sai. However, I did not become a devotee of Swami yet. The same year, some of my friends planned a tour by road to California for sightseeing. I was included in that 2,000-mile drive in a car and a van. I was in the car, which was following the van. On the way, the van met with some serious accident. Right before my eyes, the van made 5 somersaults, rolling over on its side. Its rear door was ripped open by the impact, throwing the passengers and baggage in all directions vehemently. One can imagine the severity, as one lady who was thrown out of the van landed at a distance of 150 feet. I was so shocked that I forgot to film the accident, though till a minute back I was taking video of the van which was going in front of us. We took all of them to a hospital, fearing that most of them would have sustained fractures and grievous injuries. But after a thorough check-up and treatment as outpatients, all of them were discharged within 3 hours. None of them had any fracture or grievous injury. There was a small photograph of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba on the windshield of the van. The glass on it cracked badly, but the impact of the accident, except some spaces, little like a circle around Swami's photo. How the glass around the photo of Swami did not develop cracks is a mystery, as the entire glass surrounding it cracked. Being a witness to it, it made me think seriously. For the first time, I began to take Swami seriously. It was a turning point in my life. My contract at Egan ceased and I got a job with another company in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I joined there and began to work. At that time, I was a staunch devotee of Lord Venkateshwara. So I wanted to have darshan of the Lord at the Venkateshwara temple in Pittsburgh. I am generally good at finding places, but I could not locate this temple even after searching for 3 hours. Suddenly I remembered Sri Sathya Sai Baba. I am here for good cause, to visit the Lord's Adobe. If you are God, show me the temple, I prayed in expression. Then a thought crossed my mind. How will Sri Sathya Sai show me the temple? So I wanted to make inquiries. I saw a gas station at a distance and parked my car at the roadside a little away from the gas station. I did not even get down, but was in the process of doing so. Then a white man was seen coming running on the road. The time was 2 p.m. It was not time for jogging. He came straight to me and asked, "Are you looking for the temple?" Wondering how could he infer, so I nodded in assent. He tried to direct me there. I can't make out anything, I said. Will you please come with me and show it? In the USA, people are very busy. They don't usually bother to pause and answer, much less to come with us and show addresses. But he readily obliged, came with me, showed the temple, and left. For 3 hours, I was searching for this very temple in vain. The moment I remembered Swami, there he came in the white gentleman's form to take me straight to the temple. By December 1991, that is on my hardly counting in the job in Pennsylvania, for 3 months my company sashed 20 persons in my branch, including me. Nearly 100 people were shown the door under various subcontracts. I was informed on the 5th that I would have to quit on the 7th. I was worried very much. I write Sai Ram every day, at least for 5 pages. On the 6th, I was so worried that I wrote as many as 50 pages on the same day. On the same day, I received a phone call from Egan that all of them were buying house sites at Puttaparthi. Would I care to join? Here I was in a pitiable plight. After getting the sack, it is the time for me to go on a real estate buying spree. I prayed to Bhagawan intensely. If you get me a job, I challenged Bhagawan, I will buy a house site at Puttaparthi. On the 6th itself, I received a call from another company showing me a placement that was at Pittsburgh. I thanked Bhagawan. I was the only one to get a placement out of all those who were sacked in the batch. Immediately I sent money and bought the house site at Puttaparthi. I had the darshan of Bhagawan for the first time in Vrindavan when I came to India in 1993. The same year, my wife and daughter also had darshan of Bhagawan at Vrindavan. Swami stood before me for several minutes. My daughter, Mrs. Gayatri, used to recall, at that time I did not know that I could take Pad Namaskar. Swami had thrown some chocolates. One of them fell in the lap of my wife, Mrs. Vijaya.